Hello and welcome to BTB Podcast with me, your host Baron, historian and nerd, I guess. And you got Thronz, the anti-Disney activist.
Yes, always.
Yeah. And you got Cammy, the Duck Dodgers enthusiast. And Xander, the Brit and Silver Surfer.
Also, KK Slider fanboy.
You and everybody
I
else.
still don't know what that is. What the hell is KK Slider?
It's a fucking
Explain
dog.
Yeah.
It's the best dog ever.
He sings.
So today we're talking about the Fallout First subscription, the episode 9 trailer, and later on Joker. But first we're starting out with Blizzard and the illegitimacy of Hong Kong, I guess. Not allowed
I
to.
guess we
Putting it
should
lightly.
start off by saying fuck Hong Kong here.
Oh no.
Not
Yeah,
China,
Jesus.
just
Let's
Hong
just-
Kong. Just those guys.
Yeah, both sides.
Okay, I mean, I feel like I can
Is it-
provide a unique. I mean, no, not unique, but I just have the most authority because I'm Chinese. So if you say anything wrong, you're racist.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. So like, basically, in summary, China sucks. The Chinese government, yeah.
Hmm.
And I think, how do you want to start with like Blizzard being influenced by like China that much is just unreasonable. But it's not totally unexpected. But like they're specific, like having some sort of punishment. I think if they just like had like a light fine or something, like no one would have thought much of it. It's just that the extremes to which they punished that guy was like what drew attention.
Yeah, they've sort of dug a bigger hole for themselves with every other action following that, so
Yes,
It's not
it's
looking
so
good.
inane. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what provoked it, because it's not like China owns, like, any sort of majority, any Chinese company owns, like, a majority share or anything. Like, were they gonna release something in China? Is that, I don't,
I think like the only thing they had for release is like Switch Overwatch, which got promptly canceled because of this controversy. But I think that's about it.
wait, they cancelled the game.
Well, not the game, but they had like a meetup planned for like the
Ah.
launch of the game that didn't pan out.
Yeah,
what the heck?
yeah.
I mean,
Because, I mean, at least, like, the NBA, like, you know, they issued, like, you know, hey, we're all for free speech. You know, we're not going to be, like, intolerant towards people saying free Hong Kong. But, yeah, Blizzard's just a bit extreme with their...
well, yeah, I mean,
side
like,
of it.
I thought, yeah, NBA took a small loss for that. I think China did some sort of punitive action, but that's just the way it works.
Speaking of NBA, did
Yeah.
you guys see the kid that was like on the jumbotron thing? Where it's like for kids that are dancing in the audience, and the kid like baited them to pan onto him,
Yeah.
and he had like the "fuck Hong Kong" whatever sign, and then they had to like pan away from the kid.
Yeah, there's something like that for
Oh, I
Hearthstone
saw
as
that.
well.
Yeah, he dropped the T-shirt, was it? Or oh my god.
That dude's a
Because
legend.
they had a Hearthstone tournament where, like, the guy held up a free Hong Kong sign during one of the matches, and they quickly, like, cut the camera away.
It was an interview after the match,
Yeah.
and then
It's just,
the announcers, they ducked under their desk, but they said that like they came back up and they said something or they did something, and then that's why they got a penalty too.
yeah, that's just so stupid. So that's like such a massive overreaction that it just makes it really obvious that like they're really pandering to like the censors.
Was it
Ooh.
Blizzard that made these punishments, or was it China?
No, it's Blizzard.
Blizzard could have just give
Blizzard.
him disciplinary action, like maybe like a,
Yeah, they could have just fined him. I mean, like, because in general, it's like, oh, you know, like, let's not talk about politics or whatever, any sort of political thing, like in certain sports tournaments or whatever, public events like that. And, like, a fine of based on that nature, as long as it wasn't, like, extravagant. but like they had to ban him, take away his like what? Didn't they take away his prize money?
Yeah, but they gave it
Yeah.
back to him.
Yeah,
They gave it back.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was only after the backlash.
Well, I guess
That's just
silver
so
linings or
inane.
The,
apples and
Why
oranges.
would they do that?
have you guys seen the non-apology by Blizzard though?
Yeah.
I wish that they would have just been like, "Oh, this punishment was like an overreaction out of panic or something like that." But they just basically
Well, I
have
mean,
a
you can't really
non-apology.
admit that. It's just all bad press. But ultimately, this just goes back to how large of a lucrative of a market China has, that it like knows it, and it can like just be like, well, you can't have it unless you play by our rules.
Right.
And we don't play by yours, of course, but like you have to play by ours. And I don't know exactly. I'm not an economist or anything like that, so I'm not exactly sure like how serious of a deal it is. But it does seem pretty nasty, and I don't know how the world is gonna like deal with that, because like China's government's bad news. I saying this as a person with parents who are kind of, I feel, pretty brainwashed by them, but I think they're pretty bad news for like at least the Western values or whatever of individualism and free speech.
Well, that's why you have
So
to
fuck
privatize all of your
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah, I think like the larger talk with that as well was the whole like, what can you do against corporations that aren't like allowing free speech or like dismissive of it, like, oh, you can't say that because they have their own interests. So
Well, yeah, I mean, the
There's
solution
been,
is to
like,
make it
concern with that.
not, I mean, unless it's like, oh, the solution is to overthrow capitalism or something, but like outside of that, it's like you have to like set some sort of regulations to make it not profitable to do so. So that would mean like straight up. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
was gonna say like embargo China, but like I'm not sure how that will affect the
Isn't there
whole
already,
world economy.
like a trade hold on like China right now or something? I don't know.
I think they said that they were lifting it because they came to like the first part of the agreement, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything that would ever be done like specifically to the companies for like doing that sort of thing, but yeah, I guess like
Damn,
probably something.
China really fucked up our politics. All because they're
Oh no.
So
Scared,
speaking
I
of
guess.
digging holes, Fallout first, the subscription service to get features that should be in the game to everyone. But
$100 a year.
Overall, pretty stupid move. I wouldn't say, I'd say less serious than the whole China thing, of course, and its like implications.
But when you have
Just
the most
still
passionate
very
fans,
greedy.
the most passionate
just-
fans of the game start calling bullshit, then you know you've done something wrong.
Yeah,
Because I've yet to see
it's been
anyone
escalating.
defending it.
it's very dumb.
like they started out putting stuff in the atomic shop that helped you in gameplay, like getting rid of your scrap and repairing your items and stuff, and people said, oh, we're not really okay with that. And then they started adding more stuff, like stuff that preserves your food and gets you free scrap. They put that behind the atomic shop, and then people were opposed to that, and like, oh, okay, time to introduce Fallout first. Like,
Yeah,
it kind of feels a bit disconnected.
I don't know who own, like, is Bethesda's like purely its own thing, or are there like other people running? Is like some large, like, yeah, I know like Blizzard was owned by like Vivendi, and that's why Activision Blizzard was a thing, because Activision merged with Vivendi.
Ah, shit.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
or Vivendi bought Activision. I forgot. There was some sort of merger.
Yeah, I guess it might just be something inside of Blizzard then, or not Blizzard,
Bethesda.
Bethesda. And yeah, I guess it's got some concerns raised for Elder Scrolls 6. if they like continue that sort of practice. But
That's
Oh
just so
yeah.
dumb.
yeah.
Yeah, they have such a. I mean, Fallout and between Fallout and Elder Scrolls, like they had such a decent setup. But then, I don't know.
Well, at least there's Outer Worlds to look forward to.
By the original developers of Fallout. Yeah, that's some poor timing too, with Outer Worlds coming out. It's like, are they trying to sabotage themselves? Like,
Oh yeah. Damn, that's
I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the same thing with like Blizzard did its whole thing, and like Riot just had its like League of Legends 10-year anniversary, and they just announced like a few games. They announced like a fighting game in the works, and they announced a hero shooter, like Overwatch. They announced it, and they're like,
Nobody
"Hey guys, we're
cares.
making this."
it comes
So,
at
like,
a
this is
bad
just-
time when people are still saying that Obsidian should have the Fallout IP.
Yes, that
Yeah.
too. It's like this, that, yeah. And then like obviously Obsidian, like that's why they have like by the original creators of Fallout, like they in the trailers, like they have to,
Yeah,
like you're obligated
yeah.
to. Like
It's a
what
good
are you
flex.
not?
You were asking earlier about is Bethesda owned like any part by China? Did anybody answer that?
Not China. I not no. I just meant like owned by some other larger company.
I don't think so. I think Bethesda's its own thing.
Yeah, it seems like it. They're a publisher. They're just like a larger publisher now. They publish
Yeah.
under several studios. Yeah. But I mean, as for Blizzard, it's like they're not owned by any sort of, cause like, and that's what makes it so funny to me. Cause the entire time I thought Blizzard was going to be. I mean, it was going to be Riot who would fuck up. Like the entire time, like this Hong Kong thing, ever since the Hong Kong thing started, I was thinking that Riot would be the first to be like exposed because Riot is literally owned by Tencent. Riot is owned by like the largest like Chinese entertainment tech company out there.
Yeah.
And like, nope, it was Blizzard. And Riot's like, hey, doesn't Blizzard suck? Blowing
Oh, yeah.
China's.
Somebody said that Bethesda pulled like their stunt just so they can get the attention off of Blizzard.
I don't know. That
That sounds stupid.
doesn't seem
Yeah,
to make
it
sense.
That
really
doesn't make
does.
any sort of sense.
Tinfoil
I
hat
would-
kind of.
That is. Yeah, that would be such a too high IQ if it actually was like some sort of
Don't worry,
power
comrade.
play.
I have your back.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
No, no.
Fortnite deleting itself is trying to take attention off Blizzard and their mistakes.
I'm surprised.
Stopping the
even,
Fortnite
Yeah.
train. Sorry.
Like that fucking stunt was so bad for like Fortnite players. I'm surprised it even panned out like the way it did, like the way it was supposed to.
I actually don't. I totally forgot about that thing.
Yeah,
What
how's it
happened in
supposed
the
to
end?
pan out then?
It was supposed to be like oh no, Fortnite deleted itself, dude. Everybody go crazy, and I'm just like okay, funny, haha. I want to play the fucking game, and it's like you have to wait 2 days for the game to come back online, and everybody
Like what they do though? When they came back.
it played a cutscene.
That's it.
Yeah, and then like the cutscene like somehow bled into like an actual match of the game, where it's like a shot of the bus, and then you jump out, and then it's like you start playing it.
Okay.
That was kind
And?
of cool, but it wasn't worth it.
Huh.
I mean, like there was no. What was it for though?
The start of a new map, like a new story, I guess. It's like Fortnite Chapter 2.
Okay.
I guess that's why they didn't do the It event for It Chapter 2, because Fortnite has Chapter 2 now.
Jesus.
Epic. So, moving on to Star Wars, the Episode 9 trailer. Got a lot of people feeling a lot of different things.
Yeah, that obscure little trailer that came out a week ago.
Yeah.
What are you doing, C-3PO?
Oh no.
He's going to die, but he needs to take
He's
one
so-
last look at his friends who he knew for like
10
a year.
seconds.
Bets on Anthony Daniels submitting himself for the Oscars next year.
It's like, I'm going to join you. Actor for R2D2 I did not like.
He does a music number before he dies.
Thank
Voiced
you
by
for
Seth
all of the
MacFarlane.
money.
Legitimately, that was like, I don't know. I feel like not a lot of trailers for most things get me hyped that much, but I mean, still interesting to see, you know.
My friend cried.
Oh,
To be fair, like
friend's a baby.
Can I just say the one thing I did like was how they didn't use the Force theme for the third time and instead used the main theme. Because that
Blessed.
was like, yeah, getting a little old, even though it's nice.
It's the Force theme. It's like the main thing of Star Wars. The Force. We're going to use it again.
Yeah,
I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah.
You don't think I will?
but it was kind of like in a
thank
different key, or I don't know music terms, but it sounded different.
you.
In a sense that was more.
It was more like
I don't remember. I have to watch it again.
dramatically orchestrated.
Yeah.
Oh, so just like JJ usually, just same thing but slightly different.
Man,
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Can we talk about
Palpatine's
how there
here.
was a droid core ship and a battle droid in the trailer?
okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it's tying all eras together.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a whole.
I imagine it's
Endgame
gonna be
sort
like,
of ending.
oh, they scrapped together a massive navy of random ships that just so happen to be from all the movies. Wow.
They should
Yeah.
bring back that one clone trooper that like survived Order 66, like being frozen.
Oh yeah, that guy. I forgot his
Yeah.
name though.
It's like, guys,
Echo?
I'm here
Was
to
it
join
Echo?
the resistance. For the Republic!
Yeah. Or they have like the Clone Wars voice actor for the droids, and then there's like a whole.
Matthew
it's like,
Wood?
Roger, Roger.
I didn't.
Hey,
I was surprised to see that. I didn't spot it in the trailer, but when everyone was pointing it out, I thought it was fake, and it isn't. So
There's like a
Crazy.
non-rusted battle droid slumped in the corner. Yeah.
I think that wasn't there like a theory that because they were lacking in reinforcements at the beginning of the movie, they'll go and find all the deactivated droids or something.
I mean, that is a good
Yeah.
theory because basically everybody died in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
There's like, yeah, literally, it's just people on the Falcon.
If anyone's scraping
Yeah.
the bottom of the barrel, it's the Resistance.
basically. Or Palpatine, you know, like
Oh,
rising.
He doesn't
some
have
old
anybody.
star, like,
I miss my stormtroopers.
I'm a ghost.
I mean, like Palpatine was like, "Oh, these are my finest soldiers," and then they died to like teddy bears. So it's like, really, probably he's also
Not
scraping
a-
the bottom of the
He's
barrel.
not a good judge of a character, but
I mean, his fucking like heir to the throne was like some emotional teenager who killed his wife.
Yeah, for real. Like, what the heck?
yeah, dude just loves the lightning out of his hands.
I'm going to kill your son the
Lightning in my
same way I
hands,
killed Mace
lightning
Windu.
from my
Wanna
hands.
see?
Yeah, I don't really like Palpatine being back.
Dude, how could you
I-
not like that? It's
I'll
like
reserve judgment.
everybody's favorite thing out of Legends, where they have the fucking
Yeah, it's like Dark Empire.
Oh no.
No, it's fucking
Palpatine
hilarious how
clones.
quickly people change their tune. Oh, Dark Empire is terrible. It ruined the prophecy. And then the moment they see that, so it was like way back a few months when it was like the episode 9 trailer thing, and it's just like, oh yeah, Palpatine's back. It ties together all the movies.
I think the
Fuck
thing
off.
that annoyed me the most was when we heard the laugh in the first teaser, and everyone from prequel memes just did a complete 180 and was like, "Oh, this movie's gonna
Yeah.
be good now."
Yeah, oh,
You
it's
want
gonna
the
be so
There's a
good?
character in it.
Oh wow, we never mind. It's not like we just hated it the entire time. It's like, oh, that because they have this one fan service thing, and I think it's pretty. I mean, they'd have to do a lot. Basically, what I'm saying is that they would have to like do a lot to like make me just like not criticize, the clone. Like they'd have to. JJ has to go the extra mile if he wants to be like. I mean, not that my opinion matters that much in the overall thing, but like just, yeah.
I hope they bring back the Eye of Palpatine. It's like a capital ship, but it's like
Yeah.
inside of a
Yeah.
meteor,
It's not just a boulder, it's a rock.
It's just an asteroid.
It's not a boulder. It's my asteroid. That's actually a space station.
Yeah. You was weird. But
Yeah, didn't it also have like a Jedi soul in it? And then like Luke found it.
I don't remember.
And then
I think
like,
it was
the
also a
soul released
super
into
weapon.
it.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, and I don't want to remember.
Oh, I just
so-
know it was just a ship made out of a rock.
Yes. But I mean, like, I think that's from Children of the Jedi. Yeah, that might have been from that series. But, like, most
Yeah,
people think of
yeah.
Dark Empire.
It's funny because the stuff that I've mocked from Legends, like more super weapons and Palpatine coming back, is literally
No,
canon.
literally 90% of, like, the super weapons in, like, Legends, that, like, post-movie Legends is, like, from Dark Empire. Like,
Yeah.
the Eclipse
Yeah, like-
Dreadnoughts, the Galaxy Gun, the World Devastators are, like, all from Dark Empire.
Palpatine comes back to a broken Empire's like, guys, I know how we're gonna do this. We just need more super weapons.
Guys, I know how we're gonna
We can
do this.
pull
Let's just steal the Solo twins again.
So, like, in that sense, I do think I am excited for Palpatine to be back, so that way I can just make all the Dark Empire memes.
I need to see Skywalker one more time. I didn't get to tell him about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. I'm sure that always gets it done.
he
Turn
gets like
instantly.
fucking Luke's Force goes to visit him. It's like, all right, we're here. I got something to tell you. Have you ever heard the tragedy of? He's like, dude, I don't fucking care. And just like
Oh my god!
banishes him.
If he starts telling that story, I'm gonna walk out. I just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like that specific part. I mean, like, the stuff with, like, oh, Kylo Ren and, like, I don't know, Finn or whatever. I'm actually curious about what the Zori Bliss character is, like, how... I doubt she's gonna play any sort of big role. Carrie Russell's character.
She's gonna become the Skywalker.
Carrie Russell's character.
Yeah, it turns out that she's the child of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, obviously. I just, like, I don't know. I mean, because I just know Carrie Russell from The Americans, so I'm like, yes. Angry spy lady.
I don't know. I've not really seen her or anything, but I'm sure the person in a mask in a Star Wars movie doesn't really need like acting chops, really.
No, she's really good. But that's why it's probably gonna be disappointing because she's gonna get like a really minor role, and it's gonna be like, whatever.
Well, now you know how I feel being a Rose fan. It's a fine character, guys. Come on.
Can I talk about how Google likes to like recommend articles to you like daily, and they usually recommend
Yeah, I
articles
know.
with spoilers. So
Oh
Yeah,
god, that's
I've been
how
getting
The
that.
Force Awakens got spoiled for me.
yeah, I think I know
Yeah.
Rey's like lineage now. They didn't explicitly say that they knew, but they have like a really strongly implied like who Rey really is,
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I
and I hate it.
I feel like I've probably read most of the
If-
leaks.
If this film doesn't get spoiled for me, then I must I'll probably be living under a rock. So
Yeah. I'm
But-
just gonna disconnect my internet cable.
It's-
You won't see me
I
for another
think-
2 months.
I think it passes. I mean, technically, I had all 6 Star Wars movies spoiled for me because I played the Lego games before watching the films, and I still like them. So I don't know.
I don't know.
And I
really.
played The Force Awakens after I watched The Force Awakens.
I
Bruh.
never.
Did
But
you?
did you get True Jedi though?
Did you get
I-
all achievements.
Actually, I a lot of like the harder achievements I actually did get. It's just I use like a lot of like the DLC characters to get them though.
Of course. I've never
Cheater.
had much issue with being like completely spoiled for a movie. Other than the principle of like saying no, like don't spoil it because I don't want you to, because fuck you. Like I don't actually
Yeah.
care about like, oh, you ruined the movie. Like, no, I've never felt that way.
Okay, so you see, Rey's true lineage is
Okay.
Obi-Wan
yeah, I mean-
because they walk similar. That's cool. I don't know.
They both have
theory.
a
No,
slightly
here's the
similar accent.
truly massive
Both
She's
British.
Qui-Gon Jinn
Truly
because they both
genius
have similar
theory.
hair.
Genius theory is that Rey is what's her name? Shmi from the first movie.
Dude, I hate
that
this
they travel
theory.
back in
Stop
time.
talking.
Female.
Listen,
Oh.
but the
The
reason
Force
and
willed her
it's
into birth.
extra it's extra big it's extra impressive because like J.J. Abrams was like running Lost. Like the show Lost. He ran the show Lost. And that was like full of like time travel bullshit.
And don't forget,
Paradox.
what's his name from The Last Jedi also
Okay.
made Looper.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying I like the theory, but now that I think of it, Rey and Shmi do actually kind of look like, similar. I don't know, man.
In the way that they're white and they're
No, but, like-
brunettes.
Wow.
I think it's like kind of like
The self-fulfilling prophecy.
Again, if this happened, I'd probably just laugh. I don't think I don't think I could.
yeah,
take it
I
seriously.
know. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, it's. I don't really see it.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like I can kind of see it, but also it's like within that realm of like, well, there's only so many ways a person can look.
think about it like
But
this,
this would
right?
mean Raylo is incest, and it would be fucking great. So
Yes, it'd be
Oh, no.
amazing.
Like, think about it like this. A lot of Star Wars characters don't look like how they're supposed to when they grow up. Like Solo,
oh yeah,
Kenobi,
Oh,
Boba
okay.
Fett. They just don't look like how they're supposed to. So like,
just
they wanted to pull
reinforcing
this.
the theory. Okay,
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
it's gonna happen.
I mean, as far as spoilers go, like sometimes I don't even watch the trailer for the movie because like some of the shots and a bit of story, but I don't know.
I don't know why
Guess
you'd
we'll
watch trailers if you are like not if you don't want to be like spoiled for something.
He has to do it for this
Yeah, 'cause,
podcast.
like,
He's
that's-
like a mod for like a Star
Yeah.
Wars server. He has to endure the
Exactly.
spoilers to get the job done.
Yeah, and that's I think. Let's see, because I did that for I think Last Jedi. I didn't watch the trailers for I forget what other movies, but yeah, I just don't tend to want to watch them because I don't want to. Oh, bless you.
that was loud.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking
Sorry.
put spit all over his like computer screen.
No.
Yeah, epic. Alright. So, wrapping things up, we have Joker. We do have, Cammy hasn't watched it yet, so, you don't have any great takes on, what your perception is on Joker. And
I guess
how it should be
Cammy
told.
doesn't live in a society like us.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, what do you mean? I'm the most oppressed out of all of you here.
Well,
Sure, man.
Guys, we live in a society.
we do.
Yeah, that really blew me away. He said society in the
did.
movie. That was so
Oh,
epic.
I turned to the person I was watching with and legit gasped at them, and they just didn't know what I was talking about.
It's like why you gasp, Mr. First? You said the funny word.
What do you mean? He just said society.
Originally, it wasn't. It was supposed to be system. I think. in
No,
the
he said
script.
society.
And
He was supposed to
society.
say, yeah.
Oh, suppose.
It was supposed to be system, and then he said society.
Interesting how
Jack-
that played
Jack-
out.
Yes, I'm not sure if he
Jackson is enough of a
intentionally. I
gamer.
mean, like,
that he knows.
I don't feel like he'd be like in tune with that, but like maybe he just learned about it and was like, I'm gonna like mess with the, or I'm gonna like,
gonna say the yes word.
it's like a fan service in a sense.
Yeah, all he needs to do is say "Gamers Rise Up" in Joker 2, and then it'll be all
Oh, would he just?
set. And apparently, Joker is going to be in Birds of Prey, where like there's like someone in the trailer who's like in a suit
I don't
that's
care about
hanging
Birds
with
of
Harley
Prey.
Quinn. But
I don't care about Birds of Prey that much. Because you see, they have this character called Cassandra Cain, and she's not like how she is in the comics. And I don't know. I mean, actually, in the comics, she's just like the silent martial artist type, which isn't like inherently that interesting. But like, I prefer that over whatever the fuck they have with I see in the trailer.
yeah, speaking of not interesting, I mean like when I walked out of the theater, I didn't really know like what to think about it.
Uh-huh.
But then like I remember I looked at like YouTube videos about it, and people were like, "Oh, this is so rich in storytelling about what it means to be in a society," and like
This is like the Rick
kind
and
of
Morty
bit
of
of an eye roll.
movies.
It
Yeah,
really is.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit overblown the way it is. I think
It's-
it's not very subtle about like it's not really as subtle as some people want to depict it. It's very out loud and clear about like what it's trying to say.
Yeah.
I thought
Which
it
is,
was
like-
it was quite heavy getting out of it. Like I didn't. It's not the same response you get when you're leaving like an MCU movie.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Make of that what you will. And it's the highest grossing R-rated film. No,
Is it?
I think so. Or at least,
Huh.
or is it higher R-rated comic book movie or something?
I mean, yeah, it depends. Did it beat Deadpool?
I
a good
think
point.
it might have. But yeah,
It
it's
did.
like,
It did. Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds tweeted something, didn't he? To yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is going, can I be in your next movie, guys? I need a job. The Deadpool phase is past, and I need money.
Oh, no more Ryan Reynolds in
Deadpool's
DC, please. Last time didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool's gonna say we live in a society.
As for the movie itself, I thought like, yeah, it's like the script didn't feel like the plot didn't feel that special. It felt like kind of very straightforward, except for the ending. Like, I mean, the ending was kind of out there. I'm not even sure if it really, I don't know, even quite know what to think of it. As far as I can tell, it's like kind of random and purposefully ambiguous. And like, I don't know exactly how I don't feel like it really added anything. The ambiguity of it didn't add that much. It just made people be like, oh, maybe it was all a dream. And I don't know how that really helps the experience.
Yeah.
I think it was like,
yeah, I was.
maybe like to like, you know, people who don't want to think that it was such a depressing movie. It's like maybe it was just all a dream, and he all this stuff was in his head, and we don't have to worry about it.
Maybe he's just sleeping in Arkham Asylum like a good little boy.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't.
And
think
yeah,
so.
I didn't really think about it too much when I saw it. But it kind of does make sense after that he kind of made up his romance with that neighbor down the hall.
Well, I mean that
And-
part. Yeah, I just meant like the
Yeah.
very end with like him in the asylum and getting chased or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't know to what extent like the other dream stuff is.
Yeah.
Like if the city did
Yeah.
fall apart and there's like,
Well, I wasn't too sold on the character he kind of falls in love with in his apartment and stuff, just because maybe it wasn't supposed to be hidden that well. But when it came to the point where it's like, oh, it was just a fantasy, I was sitting there like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I figured it out once in the hospital scene.
Oh yeah.
Like what I mean, like when he's with his like mom or something, and then like because
Mm.
she never shows up, and then suddenly she's there.
Yeah.
Like she's not there outside, but like suddenly she shows up. I'm just like, okay, so he's probably a dream. He's like, this must be some sort of hallucination, and I totally called it. I was very happy with myself. But I mean, also, I mean, like, I think it gave a not too dignified like portrayal, because it's like, yeah, sure, he's like sad, like, but it's not like he doesn't become particularly like badass. He's just angry. Like his rant and
Yeah, I
everything
feel
is
like-
just like very. It's not like a very cool moment. It's like a very uncontrolled, like rambling.
Mm.
I think that was
Is-
good.
yeah, it does feel like, separate from other Joker things like Heath Ledger and of course Jared
Well,
Leto.
yeah, those are different.
And that it's like more of like like someone who's actually like psychotic.
Rather than
and,
like
doesn't
a
have-
master schemer.
Or an anarchist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things just kind of happen, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, I guess these things are happening. I will do my things accordingly."
Yeah.
I think it's kind of crazy that like it shows the popularity of the character, that like the adaptations we get of him nowadays are nothing like the comic books. They're just trying to do their own thing because they're inspired by that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for It was mostly just Joaquin Phoenix's performance that like pushed it to like, okay, I can. Oh, this was enjoyable in a way, in a weird way, to me. Like without him, like if it wasn't that level, not without him, like if he wasn't as that good, I would have been less interested, far less
Yeah, like if
impressed.
it's just like if it was just like anyone else who just kind of did a mediocre sort of role.
Because the
like, his
plot
performance
itself
gave
is just
that.
kind of whatever. I'm not really that. Yeah,
It's like, yeah, we're gonna have like everything possible to screw this guy over, who's also
and he's gonna
has
become
mental
bad.
issue. Yeah,
I want to
Wow.
see like a Jared Leto version of this movie. Like I just wish
But why?
studios would just pour out the money and just like do a fucking giant shit post and just make like a
yeah, you should. Should ask Jared Leto, like, say, like, hey, do you want to do the Joker movie?
Oh man, did you
Yeah,
see
I'd
the
probably be
Jimmy
on board for
Kimmel
it.
like interview with Joaquin Phoenix?
The what?
The Jimmy
Which one?
Kimmel's interview with Joaquin Phoenix. It was like really awkward because like Jimmy Kimmel like basically posted like
Oh,
yeah, that one.
what was it? Wait.
I have not.
Actually, I get confused. Which one's Kimmel and which one's Fallon? Because I was.
Fallon's the like I don't know, jumpier one. Like the Kimmel one was like he posted like a clip of like Joaquin Phoenix like preparing for like a scene. I think it was.
Oh, I think I watched the Jimmy Fallon one where they joked about being uncomfortable in interviews, and it was a nod to the movie, and I was just.
Yeah. Nah, but like the because the Fallon one was like Joaquin Phoenix was just weird, but then like the Kimmel one was like he like posted a scene and then like I don't know, Joaquin Phoenix got really upset about it, like just kind of like quietly because it's like, hey, this was like a serious moment for me, and people were laughing at him, and I was like, man, Kimmel's just about to get shot right now. I was just thinking,
Yeah, it's us thinking like they just show that
would
scene
that be such a
and
horrible
then
thing?
like Kimmel turns to look at
come on,
Phoenix.
man. How can you say that about Jimmy Kimmel? He brought his fucking radar technician, Kylo Ren.
Oh, that's.
nah,
Wait,
dude,
that was him?
it was really uncomfortable. I don't know. Joaquin Phoenix seems like the perfect guy to play these unstable people because he is admittedly kind of weird himself already. Yeah, like he like what other roles he played that movie it was like You Were Never Really Here, which is like he played like a hitman with PTSD. And it was like extremely just brutal and like violent. And yeah, that's already something.
I mean, there was some stuff with the director, wasn't it? Like people were criticizing him on Twitter, and he was like,
Oh, Todd Phillips,
hitting
because he
back
said
at him.
something about the
Yeah.
far left, and he's always seemed
Yeah.
kind of conservative libertarian, which doesn't sit well, especially with the whole Joker's for incels thing that only like reinforced it. I never got the feeling. I feel like that movie has like a very Joker has like a very generic like, oh, you know, mental health, you know, save. I mean, we should like do more for people who are mentally ill, and like, oh, and also eat the rich, which is like a
Yeah.
very generic leftistish statement. I feel like it's not very like deep, but it's on that side of the political spectrum. So I don't know why people get the idea of like alt-right or right-wing.
I mean, I think that's just with like the character of the Joker that some people have taken.
Okay,
Of,
yeah,
like,
that's
you know,
true.
saying-
Yeah, but like, so I'm saying like the movie itself is like the message is very much generic leftist. Eat the rich, like in the most
Yeah,
meme sense.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah. So yeah, it's just more of like people's perception of the character and like the people that watch it. It's like, oh, you know, it's their sort of movie
So
when you know it's not really.
so basically this movie is literally the meme. This says a lot about society, but yet we live in one.
Yeah,
yeah.
basically.
I mean, it's a movie about the Joker.
He does live in a society.
It's a movie. It's like it's a movie. It's a movie about a comic book character for DC. And like, yeah, so kind of. interesting.
Alright, so I think that's going to do it for this podcast. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.
Yeet.
Yeah, bye.